So right off the bat, just on a ban from Saigon Buffalo, we should see in response a Wukong and Lucian ban, and then from there, mid lane in the Ari LeBlanc Zoe question comes to answer. Carry a hard stomped the LeBlanc by pinning it down with the Nautilus yesterday against G2. That was an interesting flavor. And then both Nocturne and Lee Sin banned means probably a Graves pick, I would imagine. As G2 looks to snuff out the vision of Saigon. Viego is also in the question as well. And now Zoe is worthless, considering Ari is banned. But Wukong is left on the table, so Jesus Christ. I have a lot of faith in that pick, for sure. I think the Wukong's very strong. Saigon Buffalo are going to answer with a Galio and a Gwen. So we'll see if G2 look for the Vladimir counter, the Gangplank counter, melee top counters, and the Jackson Tryndamere. Kennen is technically on the board. Be fascinating to see what comes of that. Galio is also a really, really strong laner for Froggy. He plays a lot like Ryan from last year's RNG. Before Jahu real swapped back to mid, Cryan was playing a lot of the Galios and Twisted Fates, using the global pressure almost as a support for the team. G2, if you blind pick the Kaisa, it goes really, really well with the Wukong. We'll see what Saigon wants here. Taking the Kaisa into the, or taking the Xayah into the Kaisa, you have a little bit of a better lane in poke, but the lethality route has been kind of neutered. A Silas ban is kind of wild. Silas into Galio is pretty okay, especially matching the global route pressure. The Rakan banned away from the Xayah. I imagine we'll see a Leona ban as well, away from Taki. To deal with the Wukong and the Gwen, both teams could look for an Alistar pick, which if Saigon Buffalo is banning Silas, could be very, very influential in this draft. And they just banned it anyways, instead of R4ing it. But R4ing it would mean you need to R5 jungle, and that's not a very good route in this draft. Graves banned away. I don't think Xayah has a good enough lane where you can go Bard, so, but instead we're blind picking Aatrox. What? So, I guess they're seeing the Vladimir in the bot lane and then flexing the Gwen jungle, I guess? How bizarre. So they're going with the Kaisa Nautilus, which the only time I ever really want to see the Nautilus is next to a Kaisa and next to a Senna. We'll see what is in the mid lane here. Maybe Vex. Vex seems like the best pick out of all of them and can team fight pretty well around the Kaisa. Also a lot of dashes on the enemy team. But instead we're just going into your baby. Maybe it's kind of sick. So see what is the answer to the Anivia. Everyone's fairly short range except for the Xayah, which will only be able to outrange later on in the game. So see what we want here. I think this has to be a support pick. I don't think this is a flex pick on the Galio. You'll see Renata into Nautilus. Renata is a very common answer into the early aggressive supports in the Leon and Nautilus. Even into Callisto lanes, we've seen the Renata pick come out. So G2 have a lot of playmaking, definitely the better team fight comp, and Saigon Buffalo kind of got a little wild in the draft. The way they buffed E, I believe they made it so jungle Gwen doesn't get that buff. So it's going to be very, very slow pathing from Gwen. But we'll Wukong is pretty slow in pathing as well. So, overall, very fascinating draft. The flexibility on red side displayed once again from Saigon Buffalo. But we'll see if giving Wukong up was a